It was last minute. Wait till the last minute to pick, man.
That's all good.
Had to confirm with my associates, with my team.
Oh man, yeah.
You already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
Yes, you are. And welcome to another Saturday morning. I can't believe it. August 31st, 2024. And where has this summer gone? The summer season is quickly leaving us and getting back to school. Yeah, back to school. They're giving out book bags all over town. Find out where hey, don't come talk about you couldn't find a book bag. Man, they're giving book bags out like it's no tomorrow. They'll go somewhere. Check online. Check in the community. Listen to the station. Continue to listen to the Beat 105.5. We'll tell you where the next drop is of book bags. Get out there. Get your kids ready. They got all kinds of pens, pencils, all kinds of school supplies at some of these book bag giveaways. So don't be talking about you didn't have time or whatever. You don't come with no excuses. Get out there. Get your, like I said, there's so much to give in this community for free. You can't just get out there and spend time with your kids. Get them a book bag. Get them ready for school. Some kids already started school this past week. Most kids start next week after the Labor Day holiday on Monday. Get these kids ready and prepared for school. There's no excuses, parents. Parents, it's on you, parents. Get your kids. They ain't got to have the fanciest hairdo or the best outfits. Get them what they really need, some pens, pencils at these giveaways, and also the book bags that are free, absolutely free. Get them out there for our kids and here in the community of Western New York and especially Rochester, New York for sure. So, hey, we talk sports of all sorts and we for the next hour. And here we are live broadcasting from the Rock Palm Broker Studios as we always do. Real Deal Sports Show. Myself, J-GILLZ, here today with you. And we're gonna start off first with sports online abuse. Caroline Garcia caught my attention earlier in the week. She lost in the first round of the U.S. Open. Yes, the first round of the U.S. Open. And I loved her press conference afterwards. And she was saying how she's abused online. And people actually betting on her. I never even heard of the young lady, but I know who she is now. But J-GILLZ, the lady had the nerve to say that people were emailing her or texting her, Instagram, whatever social media they're using, asking her for her mother to die and asking her that maybe she need to commit suicide. Who are these people, man? These aren't sports fans. I know one thing. They're not no sports fans. Who are these? J-GILLZ, what's going on with the world, man? That people going to harass sports competitors. Sports is about competition.
Man, right, man, this is unfortunate, but this is where we are right now in society. When we look at everything going on in the world, it's so easy to hide behind a keyboard and hide behind a computer and just write the most vile, disgusting, disturbing things to these celebrities, to these people that, we look up to these people that inspire us, these athletes. And it's a shame. It's a low down, dirty shame when we talk about it because it shouldn't really be happening. Carolina Garcia, young lady just lost in the U.S. Open. We have to stop this. And the same thing happened with Naomi Osaka when she was going through her mental health, in tennis during the U.S. Open just a couple of years ago. She had to stop. She didn't want to play anymore. And then you got these trolls, we'll call them trolls, going all online, talking about what they need to do. Another highlighted moment, obviously not to switch the subject, but last night, huge game, WNBA. Look at how much scrutiny Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark go through on a daily basis online with these trolls, just criticizing their character, criticizing them based off their race, based off their gender. It's a really low down, dirty shame. And that's why we need people like us, the Real Deal Sports Show, other people in media to really uplift these athletes and really give this true story. Journalism is a craft, right? I mean, last time I heard, we talk about the National Association of Black Journalists. There are journalists all throughout this country. There are journalists all throughout the world. So we talk about journalism. That's a skill set. A lot of these guys are hiding behind a computer, typing behind a computer, going crazy. Let's not mention the political journalist from Vegas who ended up getting killed by the one of the politicians in Vegas. Did you hear that story?
Yes. Matter of fact, I heard it when we were out there in Vegas during Super Bowl week. They had it on the news saying that the trial was coming up and they ran an in-depth story while we were out there. That's the first time I heard about it when we were in Vegas back in February. And then now the trial has taken place, and that's unbelievable. I was telling my wife Dolores Jackson Radney that this is a journalist. I mean, this man is writing the facts. He wasn't making stuff up like these trolls and people trolling somebody. He actually did his reporting, did his job, found out this guy was doing things that wasn't properly that he needed to be doing as a politician, and he was exposing this guy as not being a politician, but doing the wrong thing as a politician. And he was informing the community of Las Vegas about this guy and that you really shouldn't be voting for this guy for the type of things he was doing. And then for this guy to put on a disguise and then go over to his house, and the man's in the front yard and watering his grass or whatever he was doing in front of his house, and stab him to death right in front of his own house. Just stab the man to death and then leave, and then had the nerve to throw the. Why would you have your gear back at your house? I mean, I was amazed. Why would he just throw it in a dumpster or something? This guy got caught with the sneakers and something had blood on it at his house. So he had a trail of evidence that led back to him doing. To me, it seemed like he wanted to be exposed. It was so on his mind that he really wanted to be. He was just angry at this guy for exposing him, and he ended up just kept the evidence, and the evidence is how they tracked him and found him guilty of, and then he needs to spend the rest of his life in prison. But how do you just go after a journalist that's speaking the truth and not fabricating or making things up? This man was a real good journalist, and as a journalist that we are, we salute the journalist for the Las Vegas publication that lost his life for doing his job, doing it the right way.
So when we talk about Caroline Garcia, it's unfortunate, but it's the world that we're living in now, where you got journalists uncovering the truth who can die for doing their job. Then you got these trolls on the internet who just spew venom to these players and athletes, and it's just a shame. And that's why mental health is so important, and that's why you're seeing a lot more of these organizations, these professional sporting leagues, providing mental health to their players and to their athletes, because we're in a day and age where it definitely needs to be done for sure.
Yes, indeed. And then the second half of her, her whole interview really caught my attention. But the end of it, she really talked about the sports gambling side of it. She hates that the tennis association is now in bed with the gambling organization, and I've been saying it all along. I've been a proponent against the National Football League and all these MLBs and all these sporting encouraging people to bet. They're in bed with the casinos all of a sudden. You can't have a sport where people gamble on it just because you're jealous that people are making money making money outside of you not making money on it. You should not be advertising. Every other commercial is encouraging you to bet on this football game, bet on the first quarter, bet on the first half, bet on the first play of the game, bet on everything. Like Caroline Garcia said, it made our society so whacked and out of control that you got people betting that can't afford to lose the money, that shouldn't be betting at all, and they're betting on someone like herself, Caroline Garcia. That's not Serena Williams. That's not the Iga Swiatek or Coco Gauff or some of the. These are just players who are, like she said, she's just playing the game she loved, and she's sorry that she lost, but she want to win. She don't want to come home and look on her phone and see people abusing her and insulting her and making death threats and people losing money, talking about I lost this. She said, I can't help it. You lost something. You don't even know me. How you betting on me? You don't know if I felt good today or not, or if I'm sick or whatever. You betting on me. She said this gambling thing really needs to stop. And I'm a proponent of that, because I think you're going to see more NFL players, and I think you're going to see high-profile guys get in trouble for gambling, because it's something that people have always been doing, but now you're trying to make all the money, but then you tell the players like Calvin Ridley, he was suspended for a year for gambling when he was injured. He was injured. He was gambling. Now he's back. He's been reinstated to the National Football League. I think it's wrong that you're gonna make money on one side, but then say the players can't. And it makes your game look a little shaky too. If especially with some of the officials, you already got bad calls from the officials before you got in bed with the gambling community. But now you're in bed with the gambling community, and these officials haven't gotten that much better. They're still making some bogus calls are obvious at the end of games. Games are ending in weird ways and things of that nature. Come on, man. You really, Carolyn Garcia, thank you so much for being a pro athlete and bringing this to everybody's attention. What we've been saying here on Real Deal Sports Show, with especially the Rad Man, they should not be in bed with the gambling. Should people gamble? Yes, but not with the pro sport leagues supporting the gambling operations. It's not a good mix. It's not a good mix, right, J-GILLZ?
No, I don't think so either. Especially, it's either all or nothing. You know what I mean? If you're going to allow gambling, you have to allow everybody to gamble. Or, you shouldn't just be allowed to gamble. It's as simple as that. You have players who you're saying the player can't gamble, but then you got social media saying, it's just so much going on. There's so many things to affect the game. You're telling these real life human beings that they can't gamble, but yet they're seeing all throughout social media. They have people, friends, family, that got major wagers on their performance. So to me, it doesn't make any sense for them not to be able to do it when there's still such a heightened and severe case of, gambling addiction all across the world. So to me, it just doesn't make any sense at all. But the NFL never made sense. They all about the bottom line, and that's that money, man. That's that money. That's the dollar bills.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's owner Jerry Jones, all those owners on down. All they care about is making money. And you're absolutely right. That's why they and except for the Bills on there, Pagula, he's going to make money. But why not build a stadium downtown where it would support everybody, the city of Buffalo? City of Buffalo need to be shaming themselves to allow a stadium to be built out in the middle of nowhere. And they're talking about having gambling in the stadiums now. Can you imagine some Bills fan coming in there with their two-fisted beers and walking up to the window and making a bet? Probably forget what they bet on. Forget that they bet on the guy to get 50 yards in the first half, or the guy to get 100 yards receiving in the first half of a game or second half of the game, or let alone the outcome of the game. Can you imagine some of those Bills fans, and then you having like when we were in Phoenix for the Super Bowl in Phoenix, we went over to Media Day at the arena there in downtown Phoenix, and they had one of the gambling organizations right there inside the arena where you make a left, you go into the gambling parlor, you make a right, you go to your seat in the basketball arena there at the home of the Phoenix Suns. I think it's Footprint Arena out there in Phoenix when we were there during Super Bowl week. And I said, look at this, man, you can actually gamble right here in the arena. And that's they got bars, everything right next to it, so you can drink, then go lose your money in gambling while you're drinking. Gambling and drinking don't mix for sure. So it's going to come to a head eventually, and we hate to see something very tragic happen behind people gambling and losing their money and losing money and taking it out on a professional athlete that had absolutely nothing to do with them losing their money. For sure. And speaking of tragic situations, the Boudreaux family, we send our thoughts and prayers out. They lost two of their kids, Johnny and Matthew Boudreaux, a couple of nights ago, to a drunk driver, allegedly a drunk driver, ran them over on their bicycles. They're professional athletes, 31 and 29 years of age, riding their bicycles home for their sister's wedding this weekend. And, they're bringing the family together, and then they have something tragic like this happen. And allegedly, the driver said, I had 5 or 6 beers, but I think the beers just got me impatient. Normally, I'm not an impatient person. Because they said he was passing cars along the way, and then he went around somebody, and that's when he hit the two bicyclists, Johnny and Matthew Boudreaux, hit and killed. Not only hit them, but killed both of them. So can you imagine this guy saying he was impatient because he said maybe the beers affected him with his patience level. But J-GILLZ, isn't that drunk drive? Didn't the guy just tell on himself? It said that he was impatient, so the beer made him a different person behind the wheel.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, and the guy talking like he proud of, not proud of it, but talking like, I'm just impatient. You're more than impatient, man. You just killed 2 people, man. You ran people over on their bicycles. They were minding their own business. They wasn't in your way. You got in their way, and unfortunately, they didn't have as much protection. You in a car, and you just ran them over allegedly. So he's in jail, and it's a shame that that people still with drunk driving. Please, people, the rest of the weekend here in Western New York, But think about it before you get behind the wheel. If you're leaving a party, a picnic or something, and you done had too much, ask someone else to drive. And hopefully they don't ask somebody else that had too much to drink either. Don't ask them, but ask somebody. Or there's Lyft and Uber. Take a Lyft or Uber and get your car in the morning or something of that nature. But think about it before you get behind the wheel. We don't want people injured. We don't want people killed over the holiday weekends, because that just think about that tragic situation that happened there in the Long Island area just a couple of days ago. One NHL player killed, and his brother Matthew also dead as well, because of a person who didn't think that passing people and being impatient behind the wheel was a cool thing to do, instead of chilling out and taking a Lyft or Uber or driving defensively and driving extra slow and staying in your lane and not trying to pass people. It was the thing to do. So we definitely, thoughts and prayers go out to the Boudreaux family on their tragic loss of two of their kids just over this holiday weekend. And now as we continue in the world of sports, we have the NFL. The cuts went down. Was there any surprise cuts, J-GILLZ, that you saw not only with the Bills but around the league?
Well, I saw what I was more surprised at is a lot of the physically unable to perform players. Which every season we have those. Nick Chubb, we knew he was going to be on the list. Odell Beckham Jr. definitely surprised me there. So definitely some of those pup players. But for the Buffalo Bills, even though he got re-signed to the practice squad, I thought initially, the Frank Gore cutting definitely, to me, opened my eyes to see, oh, wow, with the running back and the depth that they were lacking, with Ty Johnson being on the other physically unable to perform list. I thought Frank Gore Jr. would have definitely made the team but for him to make the practice squad, I definitely see some more growth for him in the future for the Bills, for sure.
But I see by designating him on the practice squad, players are left open. Any other team can pick them up. The only way you can stop them from being picked up is you have to, the week that they're being picked up by another team, you have to activate them and put them on the 53-man roster. You have to put that player on the active roster. So I think the running backs, if they start going down, other teams have injuries in the running back position, they're going to look at it as somebody. Because Frank Gore showed that Frank Gore Jr., I should say, Frank Gore Jr. showed that he's right up. The apple didn't fall too far from the tree, because this young man can play. He has some very good cutback. Man, I like his how he runs, and he's low to the ground to begin with, so he's not taking a full hit when he's tackled. He's able to make some moves and go in between the tackles, and he got some very good moves. So I think do not be surprised to see him in the Bills starting lineup somewhere during the season, especially if somebody tried to pick him up from another team, because I think Ray Davis is a different type of runner, which is really good. James Cook is as well. So they got a good mix of running backs, and very good mix of running backs. One guy that I'm shocked that was not cut from the Buffalo Bills roster, and that was Matthew Trubisky. Well, why you got a bum like Matthew Trubisky still on? He's a bum. The guy can't play. He never could play. The Chicago Bears made the biggest mistake of drafting him number 3 overall out of North Carolina.
Number one.
Oh, excuse me, number 1. He was there number 1 out of North Carolina. He was average at best at North Carolina. You brought him in. He couldn't play. You got rid of him. He went to the Bills. He went to the Steelers. He back with the Bills. Why is somebody like that in the league, J-GILLZ? I mean, even when we were at that training camp, he was throwing the ball behind guys. He was missing guys that were wide open during training camp. And you were like, this guy shouldn't be in the league, man.
What makes that cut even worse, Radman, is when you cut a guy what makes that non-cut even worse is when you cut a guy like Anthony Brown, who, I had the chance to talk to Mookie Hawkins, another Buffalo reporter, and we were talking about, his versatility, him playing similarly to a Josh Allen. Like if Josh Allen had to miss games, Anthony Brown's shown that he can go in and run the same type of offense, very mobile with his legs. He looked very comfortable in the pocket against the Carolina Panthers when I was at the game last weekend. So I was very surprised that you're going to keep Mitch Trubisky and then cut Anthony Brown, who to me was a far better backup receiver, and then went and signed Mike White, who got cut by the Dolphins. So I just don't understand, who had a terrible, terrible preseason and training camp. If you ask me, that's why he got cut. You know what I mean? It wasn't good. So for Mike White to get picked up by the Bills, and then y'all let a guy like Anthony Brown go, who to me, he looked really good in that last game against the Carolina Panthers. And another surprising cut, Radman. Terrence Marshall Jr., who I had the pleasure of interviewing in the locker room after the game, he's been with the team 3 years for the Carolina Panthers. He was on that historic LSU team. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, he was an integral part of it, and now he gets cut after 3 years. So that was another surprising cut for me to see Terrence Marshall Jr. leave the Carolina Panthers after a decent training camp and career thus far.
Wow, that just shows you how it's coming down to the numbers game, to the money, depending on. And I know some of these guys are contract deals because some of these guys like Andreessen, the linebacker out of UB, had a good training camp, good guy, but there's no way in the world Deion Jones, a veteran linebacker that knows and been in tough battles, been in the Super Bowl with the Atlanta Falcons, been in the league 8 years. You can't tell me a guy by the name of Deion Jones could not help the Buffalo Bills, who are lacking at the linebacker position. I mean, I understand if he makes the roster, he's a veteran, you would have to pay him a lot more money, starting salary, than you would a Buffalo Joe, as they call him, Joe Andreessen. You wouldn't have to pay him as much money. So I can get, okay, we're trying to save money because we don't have money right now this year. This year the Bills are in serious cap hell this season. Keep in mind, $24 million is going over to the Houston Texans to a guy by the name of Stephon Diggs. He's being paid $24 million this year by the Buffalo Bills to play for the Houston Texans. So that tells you how much they wanted Stephon Diggs out of Buffalo. But you just cutting quality guys because it's a money game. It's a money game in some of these situations. And the Deion Jones, I thought, should have been a Buffalo Bill, kept on the active roster, as well as Zach Davison, the tight end. I thought he could have been kept on the active roster. I was surprised that they cut him. I was surprised Buffalo picked up 15 of their 16 players. And I agree with you, Mike White. When I read up on him, he had a horrible training camp in Miami, and you reward him talking about Brandon Beane. Oh yeah, he played well. Yeah, that was 2 years ago. Brandon Beane, he played well against the Bills 2 years ago. The man hasn't played well since he left the Jets. That's why he was out there cut. The Dolphins picked him up last season. Thank goodness he didn't have to play because Tua stayed healthy. But the guy didn't do anything this year in training camp. Skylar Thompson, who played very well against the Bills in that playoff game, in that playoff loss to the Bills, he played very well. We were looking at him and said, "Wow, this Skylar Thompson is pretty good. How come they acting like he can't play? He can't play like the Bills were supposed to beat him by 20 points or something in that playoff game." But that guy played very well. You can see that he's a quality up-and-coming quarterback, Skylar Thompson. You just don't know the name, but he played very well. And Mike White hasn't done anything since he left the Jets. And you got him, you signing him. It's like, come on, man. Anthony Brown, he was here, since Tuesday? He wasn't even here an entire week. And the man went out there and balled like he balled out. I thought sure he would make the roster, or they would bring him right back if he made it through the cuts. Bring him back, and for them not to bring him back and go with a Mike White, it's like it tells you, man, what you don't want a black face as your backup, not even a backup quarterback. I mean, Tyrod Taylor took you to the playoffs, but after that they said, "Nah, the fan base doesn't want a black quarterback in Western New York." It's obviously that's a damn shame because Tyrod Taylor did a great job, and guess what? Tyrod Taylor's still in the league, backing up the New York Jets. You better hope he doesn't play against the Bills because he almost beat the Bills when he started last year for the New York Giants and should have beat the Bills last year. They should have beat the Bills in that game. Tyrod and the Giants outplayed the Bills in that contest. And still, you let Tyrod Taylor go, and now you got a quality guy like Anthony Brown that shows up from the Raiders. Raiders got this quarterback situation going out there with Minshew and Aiden O'Connor, their two quarterbacks. So they let him go, and you get a chance to, when you don't have a quality backup, you get a chance to get a quality backup, and he shows you he's quality. Less than a weekend, he balls out better than Shane Buechler and Trubisky, the two quarterbacks that you brought in from that you had since OTAs. This guy balls out better than the two of them, and you give the eyeball test. Well, what's the problem? Why can't he hold a clipboard? Why can't this man hold a clipboard?
And if you look, Radman, when you talk about where he came from, you know what I mean? He came from a very stable quarterback room. Lamar Jackson, Tyron Huntley, who just went back to the Ravens. That Ravens quarterback room was not just a great room based off of talent. When we talk about the coaches, last season was very historic. All black players, all black coaches in that quarterback room. Maybe, like you said, he was just too black for the Buffalo Bills.
That's where I think he might have been. That's the only thing I can't see because he checked all the other boxes. And like you said, he came from a Ravens team, a team that very well coached team, made the always make the playoffs. A very well run organization, and you don't even keep him as a backup. That speaks volumes to Western New York. I don't know. Like you said, I think he was a little too black for the Buffalo Bills organization for sure. And but first, advertiser, award-winning Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, auto, home, health, and life insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give her a call, 585-360-0094. She has a new location in Brighton now. She has the Bean Road location. This has opened up a new location in Brighton, took over an agency that was a farmer's insurance rep was retiring. So now she has 3 locations to serve you better here in the Rochester and Western New York area. Give her a call. She saved me and my family a hell of a lot of money. I guarantee you she can save you some. And thank you for the people that stopped in this past week that mentioned they listened to the show for insurance as well. She's helping them save some money. So give Mary Rivera a call. Auto, home, health, life insurance. She will help you save you a hell of a lot of money. Definitely. 360-0094, area code 585-511 Bean Road, Suite B, 1038 Lyle Avenue, and she will be announcing the new location out in Brighton real soon. So continue to support Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency. Been with us since we started the show. She's one of our longest running advertisers with Real Deal Sports Show. And also, so remember, we're broadcasting live from the Rock Pawnbroker Studios, 559 State Street, 585-262-9920. Deal or no deal. It's on. Deal or no deal. We ain't talking fantasy football, y'all. We talking deal or no deal. Check out Rock Pawnbrokers, 559 State Street. Sammy and his entire family and crew over there, they'll take care of you. They'll give you the jewelry or whatever that you're looking for. If it's jewelry, everything. Hey, everything's going there. Hey, snow's around the corner. I saw some nice snow blowers over there the other day. So, hey, check out those snow blowers if you want to be ready and prepared for the upcoming winter season. Check them out. Deal or no deal. And we broadcast live from the Rock Pawnbroker Studio each and every week, J-GILLZ, correct?
Oh, yeah, each and every week.
Yes, indeed. And I don't know, have you been checking out the U.S. Open recently? Besides Caroline Garcia, I've been checking out Coco Gauff. She's been having a little trouble there. They're saying her forehand is what people are picking up on, that her forehand isn't that good right now, and they're picking up on her to seeing what's going on with but she's been struggling, but she continues to win at the U.S. Open. There's a lot of good tennis out there in Flushing Meadows, so if you're in the New York City area, check that out during the week and check that out the rest of this holiday weekend to see what's happening over there at the U.S. Open. For sure. And the Buffalo Bills, let's continue with the Bills. Let's hear from one guy that I thought would make the team, and I think the Bills' most impactful player from this draft, 5th-round draft pick, Javon Solomon out of the University of Troy. Let's hear BacSpin. Let's hear what he has to say.
How's the training camp going for you so far?
It's going smooth. You know, we're growing every day. We're getting better. First day of pads. Now we're understanding kind of our run fit, how we had to learn how to play football, not just our gap, but another gap. So you gotta be pros, you know, you gotta be a professional and be able to adapt to whatever the offense is giving you. So yeah.
Exactly. Looking forward to more contact with the preseason games.
100%. And like being out here, I'm with the best of the best right now. So when time comes, I'll be well adapted, be able to play it fast, practicing with these guys every day.
What's your best edge rusher or inside defensive end? What is you feel is your best, or linebacker?
Yeah, I just feel like I'm a football player. You know, when it comes down to it, you know, pass rush is something that I do, but being a football player at the end of the day is something that I am, and you know, I strive to be every day, try to get better. That's why I love that. Like the DNs are not just the DNs in the room; we're with the D tackles. So you know, we're learning the physicality and what it takes to bring to the game, and all that just stacks up day by day.
Excellent. And you in college, man. You are looking at your notes, man. Goodness, you broke you and yours sack record, and I can't think of the other player too from Detroit.
D-Ware.
Yeah, Ware, man, Mark. Those are serious names.
Yes, sir.
How did that feel to be up with those guys once you coming up from Troy?
Yeah, no, it's a great feeling, especially knowing what they did after their time here at Troy. You know, went to the league and absolutely balled out in their respective areas or whatever. And you know, you got OC doing NFL Africa now. D-Ware, helping out other athletes now. So it's a huge thing, and to be able to go back in Troy and see your name on a list of sacks and your name is right there with theirs is a different feeling. So, I always pay my respects to those guys because, they paved the way for somebody like me a long time ago for edge rushers at Troy. And now, just trying to build on a legacy here my rookie year.
Yeah, what is it about Troy that seems to produce a high-quality edge rusher? What is it about what y'all doing down there?
I don't know, man. Maybe something in the water. I guess it's just talent. Troy's not the biggest school in the world,
right? But
I think they find the right people. And I know for me personally, I don't know about them in their past, but I had one of the best coaches, head coaches, GAs. I think my force field around me was the perfect way for me to adapt. And I had me and my other edge rusher, Richard Jubinar, we both balled up. That was something that we just did, and it was easy to do that when you have somebody on the other side of you going twice as hard. So it was a yin yang type of thing, but we got better.
All right. And what's your goals for training camp?
Just to keep getting better. I want to establish myself here. And God willing, I make this team so I can go out there and do something special this year. But we're taking it day by day, and God's lining my way, lining my path, and I'll never take that for granted because I know the Lord has me, and we'll just follow what He got.
Absolutely. And that segment that interview is brought to you by Good Life Collective, 155 Monroe Avenue, Rochester, New York, 585-360-2041. Open 7 days a week. You must be 21 years of older. For the dispensary is now open legal weed. You can go to the website, www.goodlifeweed.com, goodlifeweed.com. Jamel and our friends over there at Good Life Collective, 155 Monroe Avenue. Check them out. And yes, check out number 56, Javon Solomon. I think he's going to be the most impactful player that comes out of the Bills, out of this current draft class of the Buffalo Bills. I think definitely he's going to be the guy that's going to really open up some eyes on that defensive edge. He's a true edge rusher. He's a very explosive J-GILLZ. We saw him at St. John Fisher. Man, he comes off the ball. Saw him in that Steelers game as well. The guy can come off the edge. He's a little undersized, but man, he can get underneath the offensive tackle and really go underneath and go around them and go underneath those guys and get to the quarterback. Very, very explosive. I'm looking forward to seeing him play during this upcoming season. Right, J-GILLZ?
Oh yeah. I wasn't surprised he made the team because when you look at the lack of pass rushers and edge rushers on the Buffalo Bills, you've got your regular guys. You got your Greg. You got your Greg Rousseaus. You got your fellas Von Miller. Hopefully having a bounce back season. You know what I mean? Hopefully AJ Epinesa just got his contract. So we talk about the depth of the edges. They definitely needed some guys, and I think he might just be the spark that can really assist this Buffalo Bills defense moving forward. So I'm not surprised he made the team, and I think that he'll be impactful as well on this Bills defense. It's going to be strugglesome. I look at this Bills defense, and I think it's I love the scheme. That's the one thing they have going for him, Sean McDermott. But I think it's going to be troublesome in the weeks ahead, and I think that he'll definitely be able to provide some sort of spark to try and get them going to where they need to be.
Yes, he's definitely the heir apparent to Von Miller. Definitely, I'm sure Von Miller working with him and working with as well. But Javon Solomon, his tools, he's already, like he was talking about how well coached he was at Troy. You can see it. He's already ready to play. He's almost like a plug and play guy. You put him in at the edge rusher, he's going to be able to reap you some dividends throughout the season. So I look forward to checking number 56 out on the defense for the Buffalo Bills. I think Von Miller, if he can give the Bills some third downs, bring them in on specialty plays, third down, passing downs, long passing downs, get them in the game on plays like that. But don't use them up. Use them sparingly during the regular season. AJ Epinesa got to bring it, man. He got to bring it every week. He some weeks he's really good. Some weeks he's average. Some weeks you don't even notice that he's on the field. AJ got to do better than that. And Greg Rousseau is coming into his own as a premier edge rusher. So if Greg Rousseau can play like he did in the preseason and like he did last year, he had a pretty decent, very good season last year as a pass rusher. They moved him inside some, moved him back to pass rusher. So it looked like he likes the edge a lot more than he likes that edge, being on the edge a lot more than being on the inside on the defensive tackle side. So I think those guys are going to do very well. And also on the offensive side, let's hear from MVS and hear what he has to say about the upcoming season. Yeah, we're gonna hear from Mal.
How's it going for you with training camp so far?
It's been good, man. Team's accepted me with open arms. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be playing this game, man. But another great quarterback.
How is it where everybody eats so far? It seems to be philosophy for this training camp and this upcoming season.
Yeah,
for the receivers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they've had some really talented guys over the last couple of years here. With Gabe and Steph. And so, I think they've kind of switched gears to being able to spread the ball around to everybody. And I think that's been, a huge help to Josh and, as well as the run game, being able to kind of spread the ball around. Guys never know what we're going to do and being able to open the offense up to everybody.
So it's almost a blessing in disguise when you lose a dominant receiver, what people call a true number one, where you focus on that, where you get a chance now you see what you have in other areas.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a blessing to play this game, man. Obviously he was very productive here.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they'll miss that. But we got a great room and a great quarterback and a great OC to be able to call these plays. And we got talented players at every position, especially at the running back and the tight end position. So just being able to get everybody involved in this offense is going to be great.
Excellent. Last but not least, so it bodes well for players like yourself, veteran guys, where you get hot, hey, the ball is probably coming your way.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously you want the ball every play. I don't know any wide receiver that doesn't.
Right.
However it falls, but we want to win games. And that's what I came here to do. I've been a part of some really great organizations the last 6 years, and I want to continue that trend to go.
Thank you so much.
There you go. And that's MVS Valdez, Marquez Valdez Scantling, now a Buffalo Bill, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Kansas City Chiefs. He also was in Green Bay as well with Aaron Rodgers. So he was blessed to play with some outstanding quarterbacks. And now he gets a chance to play with Josh Allen and see what he can do. And I think he's going to come in and make some key plays. Once he gets over there, he has maybe a sprained neck is the official injury. But he made the roster. So that bodes well that they think he's going to be healthy in a few weeks and be able to maybe even play next Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. And remember, this segment is brought to you by Good Life Collective, 155 Monroe Avenue, Rochester, New York, 585-360-2041, open 7 days a week. Got to be 21 years of age and older to go to the dispensary. Dispensary is now open. Legal weed, go to www.goodlifeweed.com. Good Life Collective, 155 Monroe Avenue, sponsor of this segment. J-GILLZ, your take on the Bills wide receivers?
So what I got out of that, right, man, talking from MVS was I like how we put the respect on guys on the running back and the tight end specifically, knowing that those are the key guys, those are the youthful guys, those are going to be the key skills positions. A guy like Dalton Kincaid, a guy like James Cook. So it sounds like the Bills are going to be leaning on, and Joe Brady are going to be leaning on them heavily to really support and really navigate this offense. So it's going to be up to Josh Allen, getting the ball to Dalton Kincaid, utilizing James Cook in the passing game and in the running game. Josh Allen, a couple years ago, I remember watching him in the Miami game, just tearing us apart as he does in his career. You know what I mean? That's what Josh does. But just being able to just get the ball open to any receiver, he was checking down the Devin Singletary every which way, reading the defense, not trying to make the big play, but making the right play. And it's going to take a lot of that this season. And I think a guy like James Cook is going to be very important. A guy like Dalton Kincaid is going to be very important. And then you got the sprinkle of the Curtis Samuels and the MVSs, Matt Collins, guys who can make plays, but not necessarily be the go-to receiver, the go-to target. So I think it's going to be a very interesting year for Josh Allen, him being able to just spread the ball, get it to the right people, get it to the right playmakers, and I think that he will be able to do it in this is 10th season, right, man? Seventh season, something like that. So yes. About time that you know what I mean. So it's going to be very interesting to see. But as we all know, as the year goes on, a lot of these playbooks get discovered. A lot of these plays, they get rewashed and reused. That's why I love a guy like Mike McDaniel, who's always reinventing the wheel, very creative offensively. So we're going to see if Joe Brady can sustain this decent offense. And obviously, not to mention when you're talking about a guy like Josh Allen, he just has to put it all together this season.
Yes, and yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think that's going to be interesting. He can't blame Stephon Diggs. Can't go back to management and blame Stephon Diggs over pressuring him and cussing him out in the huddle or cussing him out in practice, the whole 9 yards. Hey, guy, you got a whole bunch of different receivers. let's see what you can do with a lot of different guys who you can throw to the open receiver. That's all they asking of Josh Allen this year. Don't turn the ball over. Don't run backwards. Don't make dumb, boneheaded plays on the field. Get the ball to the open receiver, and then we can see what you can do now that you don't have a guy pressuring you all the time, asking for the ball to come their way. That's why the Bills are paying more than $24 million to Stephon Diggs to play for another team. That's $24 million you could have definitely used for some other players on your offense. One thing the Bills have really good is an offensive line. That line can open up running lanes. I think the running backs are going to be able to run the football like they did last year. I think you'll be able to see the Bills run that ball. Osiris Torrance, that rookie from a year ago, Osiris Torrance has continued to play that guard position very well. Him and Spencer Brown making a very good tandem over there on the right side. And then on the other side, Deion Dawkins and Mike Edwards or Connor McGovern can do the job over there as well. I would like to see Cedric Van Pran Granger get in at that center position. I think he showed last week's preseason game that, hey, he can play the center position. If he played it for the University of Georgia the past 3 years, been in national championship games at the University of Georgia, why can't he be the starting center for the Buffalo Bills? I don't get it. Why are you trying to move Connor McGovern, who's been struggling throughout training camp at the center position? Move Connor McGovern back over, take Mike Edwards out, put Connor McGovern back at his natural position, the guard position, and move in Cedric Van Pran Granger at the center position. This young man can play. He can be your center for the next, 5, 7, 10 years. This guy can play that position. He's quick. You can tell how he snaps the ball. He has a very, very nice fluid motion. This guy, and he's younger. He's young. This is what we've been mentioning. This is what I've been talking about, because Mitch Morris should have been gone a couple years ago at that position. This guy can block. He can get downfield and make blocks. He reminds me a little bit of the greatest center I've ever seen, the Dwayne Stevenson, former Miami Dolphin Hall of Famer, who played great in college. And he was the quickest center I've ever seen at snapping the ball and getting downfield, helping out with blocks downfield. So that was the change I'm looking at on the Buffalo Bills offensive line. But the line, it stays intact pretty much. If they can stay healthy like they did last year, which they played every game together last year, if they can do that again, that bodes well for the Bills offense this upcoming season for sure, J-GILLZ.
Oh, yeah.
And last but not least on the Bills subject, Josh Allen voted most overrated player by the survey of NFL. This time it's a survey of NFL players. NFL players voted him the #1 trash talker and the most overrated player in the NFL. What's your comments on that survey?
Man, it's a lot of haters out there. I'm not going to lie. I look at a guy like Josh Allen. I think that he clearly makes the Buffalo Bills a better team. I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the league today. I can't name 5 quarterbacks better than him. I can barely name 3 quarterbacks better than him. I can give you 2, the guys who keep beating them every season in Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. They'll go to Buffalo and beat him down. But he's got a winning record against Lamar Jackson. I think those two are about equal. I used to always advocate Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen. And when you look at it, the skill set, Lamar's got the 2 MVPs, so it's like kind of like a 3A, 3B situation. Josh doesn't have those, but Lamar Jackson hasn't done anything in the postseason to make me feel like he's that guy. So, Josh Allen, to me, I don't know how you could overrate a top 5 quarterback. I don't know. I mean, I don't get how he's the most overrated. I look at his skill set. He's an Iron Man for one. He doesn't miss games. He plays all the games. He wins most of the games he plays. He wins playoffs games on a consistent basis. He can't get past Josh. He can't get past Joe Burrow. He can't get past Patrick Mahomes. We get it. He was 13 seconds away from doing it. Hasn't done it again, but he has dueled with the best of them. So overrated, I can't go overrated. But, the NFL players know better than me.
Yeah, I guess so, for what they're seeing on the field. Because, like you said, you made the valid point that Josh Allen is a very good football player compared to the other quarterbacks in the league. He makes a lot of mistakes. He makes a lot of mental errors in the game. But compared to the other quarterbacks currently playing, hey, man, Patrick Mahomes is so far ahead of everybody. Patrick Mahomes is way up here. He's the Michael Jordan of the National Football League. Remember, I think the problem was the media was trying to hype Josh Allen to beat Patrick Mahomes. Remember, they kept saying him and Patrick Mahomes were actual even. The Colin Cowherds of the world, and Josh Allen, he's even. Him and Patrick Mahomes, hell no, they wasn't. They never were even. They never was even. So I think that the players maybe get back from what they heard on the media trying to say Josh Allen and him were the equal. They never were equal, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick Mahomes was way ahead of Josh Allen. Josh Allen and the other quarterbacks can't even carry Patrick Mahomes' jockstrap. That's how bad, how far ahead. You can't even see him in the rear view. The dust done settled and gone. He's so far ahead of them. It's just Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game of all time and the greatest quarterback in this era. And there's nobody nowhere close to Patrick Mahomes. So you people in the past, that was just false advertising by the media trying to act like Josh Allen was equal to this guy. No, he's not. He's right there with Burrow and every other quarterback that you have playing in the National Football League right now. That's why he's one of the top quarterbacks, because you don't have a lot of top quarterbacks right now that's consistent, that play consistent winning football. A guy last night here in the city was saying about Daniel Jones, his quarterback. He said, man, if there was a G League, he said, if there was an NFL G League, Daniel Jones would be the star quarterback. He would be the face of the league. I said, oh man, I said, sir, Rick over here at the Hilton Garden Inn, the man, the head of security at the Hilton Garden Inn. I tell you, I gotta give a shout out to you, Rick, because you're absolutely right, man. That he would be the head, he would be the face of the G League if it was a G League for the National Football League regarding Daniel Jones, a mediocre quarterback. Who in the world would pay him more money? I ain't never seen a team pay. You supposed to pay your best player. Your best player was Saquon Barkley. Everybody, my granddaughters know that Saquon Barkley better than Daniel Jones. Who the hell would pay Daniel Jones big time money and not pay big time money to your running back? And now your running back gone in the division, then signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, and you got to see him twice a year. The best player that you had on your football team to keep a mediocre quarterback. J-GILLZ, they don't want a black face to be the face of their team either. The New York Giants, the Shade, they never had a black quarterback lead them either in New York with the Mara family. The Mara family is another one that don't want a black face to be the face of their National Football League team, the New York Football Giants. And that's plainly obvious by paying a mediocre guy, allowing a mediocre guy to be played. And you don't remember them even having a true black quarterback being the face. You had Phil Simms, and you have all these guys that were, good. And some of them, Phil Simms was good. He was above average. He won a Super Bowl, but really they won the Super Bowl because their defense was so doggone good with Parcells. The offense ran the ball more. Phil Simms was a manager of the game, and the Giants won the Super Bowl. So he was serviceable. He got you a Super Bowl win. That's all you needed. But Lawrence Taylor and those guys on defense was the reason why they won 2 Super Bowls. The New York Football Giants. It wasn't because of their quarterbacking, not at all. So definitely, that's another move there, like you just said with the quarterback situation. I tell you what, before we're starting to run out of time before we roll, can you let us know about WNBA? You had a big game last night. Your girls were playing last night. I know you were checking them out. What went down last night?
Oh man, Caitlin Clark put on a masterclass, straight up masterclass against Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky. I'm talking about 31 points. I'm talking about 12 assists. I'm talking about 5 of 9 from 3. Get this, only 3 turnovers from the league leader in turnovers. Caitlin Clark was a plus 23, and man, I think that this was one of those ones that just a statement game. I think that this one right here kind of edged out that Rookie of the Year conversation between Caitlin and Angel Reese. For Caitlin to go to Angel's not hometown, but go to her stadium. You know what I mean? She her arena, Chi-Town Barbie, and then just put on a master class. It was, oh man, we got to just highlight too, Angel Reese. She was able to put the cap on the double-doubles for a rookie, most by a rookie in WNBA history. That double-double she had last night. But we got to put things in its proper perspective for all of those out here. Understand this. When you talk about the Chicago Sky and the type of team that they are, they had 2 great teams, two great games against the Connecticut Sun and the Las Vegas Aces. Both came down to the wire. Those are the top 2 teams in the WNBA right now. Then they went around and lost to the Mystics. But they have their best guard right now, Kennedy Carter. She's out for this, well, not out for the season, but she's missed his last several games with a neck injury. Who knows when she'll be returning? And then you went and traded your best shooter, Marina Marbury, to the Connecticut Sun. So this is a very depleted roster right now. This Chicago Sky team is on the backs of Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso, and that's really it. They don't have nothing else. Then you got Teresa Witherspoon, who she might be on the hot seat.
She's on the fire, man. She's like, man, according to what they say online, and I was reading up on that this morning. Yeah. Man, some of the people want Teresa Witherspoon. Is she doing that bad of a job?
She gotta go. She gotta go, Radney. I mean, I don't understand. You had 19. You had Angel 19 and 20 with 2 minutes left. She could have had her first 2020 game. I mean, you're losing. You got to give the people what they want. It's not just about on the court. You know what I mean? You got to give the fans something to watch. And you got your best player sitting on the bench for the last 2 minutes. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. So she's a hard-nosed coach, but something got to give with Teresa Witherspoon. But, you know, when you look at just the state of these two teams, you've got a phenomenal Indiana Fever team who is exceeding. This is how they were supposed to be playing. Caitlin Clark was that cherry on top. But let's not forget it. When you got a girl like Kelsey Mitchell, number 2 overall pick, only to number 2 to who? The MVP, Asia Wilson. So you got a number 2 pick in Kelsey Mitchell who's been bowling. You got an SEC champion, a national title champion, Aaliyah Boston, in her second season, former number 1 pick. And then you add Caitlin Clark. It's a perfect recipe. So then you look over at Chicago. I mean, obviously, they don't have all the pieces right now, but you got to still give Angel Reese her credit. But, man, it was a tough one. When you drop from 31 and 12 on Angel Reese's head, that's a problem. And I think this is the type of performance that just separates them in that sense. So it's looking like Rookie of the Year might have to go to Caitlin Clark after that performance. But the one thing I do like to see, both of these ladies will be in the playoffs. So it's going to be some great basketball moving forward. Chicago Sky still holding on to that 8th spot. You got the Indiana Fever holding on to that 7th spot. So we'll get to see how they play in the playoffs. And I think a lot of people will be surprised about the dogs that's going to come out of Chicago in this postseason. I can't wait for this WNBA postseason.
Yes, indeed. Because Witherspoon in the hot seat, they said they should have been playing Cardoso more along with Angel Reese, and they don't understand why she was on the bench a lot. The same thing you're saying, people are saying there in Chicago, maybe to just not for Teresa Witherspoon or whatever she's trying to do there. So good luck with that. And thank you for your weekly update, J-GILLZ on the WNBA. I know you are a WNBA analyst for sure. And keep in mind, Baldwin Richardson Foods, Frederick Douglass HBCU Football Classic, Weekend of Hope, Saturday, September 21st. At the Rochester Sports Complex, 460 Oak Street. Get your game day tickets at Eventbrite. Only $25 for the day. Get those tickets. People from out of town buying those tickets up, y'all. Y'all Rochester people, don't get shut out. Get those tickets. And if you don't, you can listen to the game live right here on the Beat 105.5. Yours truly and the crew will be broadcasting the game, calling the game live right here on the Beat 105.5. And as we welcome BacSpin back in. How you doing, BacSpin?
What's going on, Real Deal Sports crew? How y'all doing?
Great
I could be doing better. That fantasy draft kind of messed me up, back.
That's right. The Real Deal Sports Fantasy Football League is in effect. We had a draft, on Wednesday? Was it Wednesday night?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night? I think it was Tuesday night. Tuesday night. The draft went really, really well for me, I must say.
Yeah.
Even though I think I had the fifth pick in the draft.
Yes.
I think it went really well for me. I got an A+ according to Yahoo's analytics. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like those analytics. Yeah, I was like, oh man, they go jump in the lake with those analytics. We just see when the game is on the field.
What you got?
0. And they got me a winless season. I ain't never heard of such a craziness, man. I didn't go a winless season on somebody, man. I said, man, I know I can pick the games. I can get you the winners. Real Deal Sports Show. I'll get you the winning teams, the point spreads, and all this individual competition. I ain't into this individual. That's tennis, man. Individual competition.
Oh, man, I seen that 0 wins. I said, I have never seen a team not win a game according to the analysts. But yeah, that was I had a good chuckle at that. The draft was really good. Shout out to everybody who participated. I'm looking forward to this season, fantasy football with you guys. It should be a lot of fun.
It should be. And keep in mind, like us, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Like us, subscribe to the show. Also want to give out to Clifford Radney and E-Rad. Congratulations on the new show, The Plain Truth. covering Auburn football. E-Rad, who comes on the Real Deal Sports Show from time to time. College football is coming back. Hopefully we'll have her in the next couple of weeks to preview the college football season, especially the Auburn War Eagles. Congratulations on your new podcast down there show, The Plain Truth. Congratulations, E-Rad, on your new sports show. And Arneska Walker, Kevin Cheeks, thank you everybody on social media who's checking out the show on Facebook in different places or on YouTube or Facebook. Thank you for your comments. Definitely look forward to the HBCU football, the Baldwin Richardson HBCU football classic, guys. And look forward to talking sports of all sorts again with y'all next week.
Yes, indeed. J-GILLZ, Rad Man, Fanatic out there somewhere. Appreciate you guys, man. And happy anniversary, Rad Man, to you and your wife, man. Y'all enjoy your anniversary. Keep it where you need it, Rock City. The Back of Time Mix Show is on the way right here on the beat. Oh, don't forget, we got that football pick'em pool. Sign up, register at thebeat1055.com. For more information, here it is right here on the beat.